When I moved into the lakeside community, my boat was the one thing I cherished more than the house itself. It was a 22-foot fishing boat that my father and I rebuilt together before he passed. Every Saturday, I'd take it out on the lake before sunrise, sip bad thermos coffee, and feel like the world still made sense. But in every nice neighborhood, there's always one person determined to make sure no one is happy. Ours was the HOA president, Karen, a woman who weaponized rules the way some people use oxygen, constantly and with no awareness of others. For 2 years, she had been trying to remind me that boats weren't allowed in driveway sightlines for more than 24 hours. I repeatedly told her the boat was only there when I was loading or cleaning it. Still, she'd take pictures like some kind of budget paparazzi, file complaints, and slide passive-aggressive notes under my door. Most neighbors ignored her, but she was obsessed with me, probably because I refused to be intimidated. One Tuesday afternoon, while I was at work, Karen finally struck. She convinced the HOA board to authorize a tow, claiming my boat had been illegally stored on common property. It wasn't, it was in my driveway, on my land, exactly where I left it the night before. But that didn't matter. When I got home and saw the empty spot, my heart dropped into my stomach. My boat was gone. I called the HOA. No one answered. I called the towing company. They said the HOA ordered the removal and I'd need to pay $1,250 in storage and violation fees to get it back. That wasn't just theft, that was hostage-taking. I drove to the impound lot, and there was my boat, strapped down like a criminal. I paid the money, seething the entire time, and brought it home. When I asked the HOA for documentation, Karen smugly handed me a fake violation notice citing a rule that didn't exist. That was the moment I realized something important. I wasn't dealing with an HOA problem. I was dealing with a personal vendetta, and if she wanted to escalate, she chose the wrong guy. Instead of screaming or arguing, I started investigating. I learned that the HOA had a long-standing discounted contract with the local marina, meaning residents could rent slips cheaply under an HOA negotiated block rate. Karen bragged about her deal all the time. So I visited the marina to talk to the owner and ask how their arrangement worked. That conversation changed everything. The owner told me he was planning to retire within a year. On a whim, I asked, what would it take to buy the marina? He laughed until he realized I wasn't joking. We sat down in his office, and after a couple of meetings, running some numbers, and realizing the price wasn't insane, I made an offer. 2 weeks later, papers were signed, and I became the new owner of Lakeshore Marina. Every dock, every rental contract, every slip, every policy, and every agreement with the HOA. The HOA had no idea. They were still floating on Karen's ego, but I waited until the next board meeting to make my move. I walked in with the towing receipt, set it on the table, and said, "Since you like towing boats so much, let's talk about your marina privileges." You don't have the authority to do that. From that moment on, all slip rentals became private and individual. No HOA privileges, no discounts, no reserved blocks. If a resident wanted lake access, they had to talk to me personally, and if Karen wanted a slip, tough luck. She'd been banned from the property for harassment. But the final twist came when I discovered that the towing company used by the HOA was owned by Karen's brother-in-law. No wonder they were so quick to illegally tow anything she complained about. They'd been profiting off bogus violations for years. So I canceled every towing contract the marina had with them and partnered with a different company. Their scam collapsed overnight. Residents were thrilled. They'd hated the predatory towing, the fake violations, the power tripping, the endless harassment. Without marina privileges to dangle over everyone's head, the HOA's influence crumbled. People stopped listening. At the next election, Karen was voted out, humiliated and powerless. In my boat, it now sits safely in slip number 12, my slip, on my property, in my marina, and not a single HOA member has even dared to look at it wrong since.